Hey y'all! What is up? Welcome back to my channel! I just got back from yoga class. It was so nice. I feel like when I do yoga in the morning, I can conquer the world, I can tackle the world. Today I kind of wanted to talk about my journey getting off social media. The goal is to use social media, but not have social media use you. It all started when I was 12. I was the last one in my friend group to get Facebook. Facebook was the up and coming social media app. Well, it was kind of like the first popular one. I was born in 1999, so like I was born at like the beginning of the technology peak. But basically, I gotta brush my teeth first, hold on. When I was 12, my mom really didn't want me to get Facebook. Like, she was like, Keara, you're not allowed to get Facebook till you're 16. But everyone in my class, like all my friends had Facebook and they were messaging on there, and I just felt really left out. I was like, I really want Facebook. This is the up and coming, like,
the hot thing to do, you know what I mean?
I got Facebook behind my mom's back, and one day I was messaging my friend on her laptop on Facebook, and the sound was on. And you know, like the little like boop, when someone sends you a message? That happened while my mom was in the same room, and she was like,
what was that?
And I'm like, oh, nothing, it was just a game. It was just a game, and I closed the computer, and I'm like, gotta go, bye. And then she was like,
was that Facebook?
And I was like, okay, yeah, it was Facebook. I cried and cried and like punished my own self. And then like a week later, I was like, okay, I still really want Facebook. What am I gonna do to convince my mom to get Facebook? So I made a PowerPoint presentation about why Facebook would be beneficial to my life, okay? So I wrote like, would connect me with family members. That's literally the only thing I think I wrote. That was never the point. Yeah, I put together a very convincing PowerPoint, and she was like, okay, fine, Keara, you can have Facebook. And that was the beginning of my social media journey. Fast forward to when I was 16, I was on this show, it was on Netflix called Lost and Found Music Studios. Family Channel actually said like, oh, it would be really beneficial for you guys to get social media presences. Start a YouTube channel, start posting your music. I started posting more often after that. After I started posting queer content, I started getting a lot more followers and like people watching my videos. I turned into a social media influencer, kind of like by accident. It just happened without my intention of wanting to do it. I'm really grateful that it did happen because I got a lot of blessings out of it. I literally wouldn't have met my wife if I didn't have social media. What the fuck is on my... Oh, it's toothpaste. Anyways, I still am an actor. That's like my main, I would say that's my main like job. That's my main career path. I still really love posting on YouTube, but the Instagram, the Twitter, the Snapchat, the TikTok, all of those things kind of had to go. I was working a lot on myself, my mental health, even like my connection to like spirituality. I realized that like I had to cut out like the amount of media I was consuming, and I did this slowly. Like, it didn't happen overnight. On my phone, you know how there's the news app, you swipe and all of these like news articles would pop up with like these very scary headlines being like, man with knife stabs young girl, like just stuff like that like it's not relevant to my life right now, so it actually harms me by intaking this information. I need to stop looking at the news. That was the first thing. Second thing, Snapchat. It just became so pointless. I had lots of friends on there that were like, oh, why did you delete our snap streak? Then it went to Twitter. I actually remember I made a video with my friend, and I was kind of talking about like my sexuality label and why I choose the label queer instead of lesbian, and like my reasoning behind labeling my own self. And people actually cut a specific part of that video to make it sound like I was lesbian phobic. And there was like a thread of people being like, cancel Keara Graves, when they literally twisted around my words and made it seem like I said something that I didn't actually say. And I was like, okay, this is not good. This is toxic. This is really, really not good for my mental health. I am going to go in a spiral and think that I'm a terrible person when that was never my intention. That's a side story. Mainly like the last app that I was still on was Instagram, but Instagram was, again, sucking the life out of me in many ways. You know. And I started becoming more intentional about what I focused on. during the day, because where you put your focus on, that seeps into the rest of your life. You know, even if you don't think seeing someone's post on Instagram affected you, it affected you, because everything you put your attention on grows and becomes bigger. And then I would dream about not being good enough, and then I would wake up not feeling good enough, and then I would, you know, I became very depressed, and other types of anxiety, just all the anxiety. I've had like an anxiety disorder and OCD since I was around 7 years old. That was something like I already had dealt with, but it was just getting worse as I got older and more sucked into social media, and really was ruining my quality of life. And now for a short commercial break. If I'm gonna spend time on my phone, I'm gonna spend time on Dipsea. 2023 is about spending time with things that make you feel good and cutting out things that make you feel bad. Dipsea is a place where I can relax and explore my deepest desires. Dipsea is a place where I feel safe, comforted, and empowered. Dipsea is an app full of short, sexy audio stories designed by women for women, but obviously anyone could use the app. They bring spicy stories to life while you're having your me time with immersive soundscapes, realistic characters, and excellent voice actors. Dipsea has stories for straight and queer listeners, and actually 56% of stories are voice acted by people of color. New content is released every week, so in between listening to your favorite stories, you can discover new ones. My favorite things to listen on Dipsea lately has been the sleep stories and erotic breathwork. There's also sexy stories you can read too. Let Dipsea be the place to spice up your me time, your self-care time, explore your fantasies, relax, and unwind. For my lovely subscribers, Dipsea is offering an extended 30-day free trial when you go to dipseastories.com/Keara. That's 30 days of full access for free. That's DIPSEA stories.com/KEARA. Try it out, see how you like it. Link is in the description. Let's fast forward to October, okay? The October that just passed. I love Emma Chamberlain, right? I've watched her videos, like, oh, she's the best. I saw that she deleted all the people she was following on her main account, and I was like, oh shit, that's actually a really good idea, because you can still post your own content, but you're not absorbing anyone else's content, right? But I was scared at first because I was like, oh my god, are people gonna think I'm an asshole for unfollowing them? Like, I was thinking of all these things, and I didn't want to offend people either, so I was like really debating it, really not sure if I was gonna do it. But then I realized, like, if you're offended, that wasn't my intention. I still really value my friendships, but I don't need to see your Instagram stories. You know what's funny is, like, after I did that, I would see my friends out in public and I'd be like, yeah, so I deleted all the people I was following on Instagram, and they're like, oh, you did? None of them noticed. I had already been working, like I said, on my mental health, so this was kind of like the cherry on top, the big shift. These are the ways cutting out social media has changed my life. Reduced depression. Normally I get seasonal depression in the winter, and I have not had seasonal depression this year. And also I'm doing a lot of other things to like help that, like meditation, yoga, blah, blah, blah. Like, I actually wake up being like, oh, what a beautiful day. I'm excited to be alive today. Like, you have zest for life. Reduced my anxiety and feelings of overwhelm. When you intake too much information, your brain can't process anything else. So you kind of just feel scattered, spacey. I'm not as overwhelmed with all the tasks I have to do in the day. I know I have enough time for everything. I'm more clear-headed. I'm able to make better decisions. And this kind of goes back into having more brain space, more empty brain space. It doesn't take me as long to make decisions. I'll meditate and then the answer will come to me. Whereas when I was on social media a lot, I was just so confused about everything. Like, I was foggy in the head. I have way better body image because I'm not comparing myself. If I even see like one person's body, it kind of like triggers my body dysmorphia and like my negative body image. In person, it doesn't bother me as much. But pictures, especially because like people, you know, pose certain ways to make them look a certain way, I'm just like, you know what? My body is healthy and that's all that matters. Which is like so freeing, because that was one of the things I struggled with so fucking much. I exercise for healthy reasons now. I exercise because I want to feel strong and it feels good and I like the endorphins. Better sleep. I actually bought an alarm clock for myself and I keep my phone out of my room when I sleep. Everyone knows, like, before bed you go on your phone, you scroll, but like whatever you're feeling, that feeling goes into your sleep and you might dream about whatever you were thinking about right before bed. That's a really big one, actually. I also turn off my phone at night. I started turning on Do Not Disturb disturbed after like 8 p.m. just because I'm like, okay, now it's time to like wind down. So I sleep way better. I sleep like all throughout the night. Oh, I have more time in the day, obviously. I am more productive. I have more time to like work on my creative projects, hobbies, and Lauren's flashing me. Stop! I've had actually more meaningful relationship connections because sometimes when you're like either with your partner, your friend, we'll subconsciously pick up our phones and start going on our phones while we're like spending time with someone we love. Being on your phone can also ruin a lot of relationships too. If I'm with a friend and we're out for lunch and we're talking and then they pull out their phone and start scrolling, I feel so like disrespected. And also you have like more meaningful life experiences because I always used to like, whenever I would do something cool, I'd be like immediately like, oh, everyone needs to see this. I need to prove to other people that I'm doing cool shit. But again, that takes you out of the present moment. It takes you out of like enjoying your life. I found that I save more money because I don't spend money on like pointless things that I get like ads for on my social media. I like only buy what I need to buy and what I really want to buy. And overall, I just lead less with the ego, I lead less with fear, and I lead more with my heart, my intuition. Comparison is like one of the worst things that you can do. It's a creation of the ego. Ego wants us to believe that we're all separate. You know, your critical mind wants you to compete with other people and place yourself on a superior level than other people, to like show your dominance and prove that you're more successful. This is just a creation of the society we're living in, and like I truly don't think that that's what life is all about. Like, we are all human beings. We're all connected with one another. I truly believe like if one of us suffers, we all suffer. How everyone feels affects everyone else. And I even believe that this is the case for animals and plants too, because we all have that like life force energy. Social media was a really bad addiction that I needed to break. Since I've been editing this video all day, I want to give you guys some like cons, which aren't really cons because like they all have solutions, just in case you were like,
Keara, you didn't talk about like what you'll be missing if you get off social media.
I wrote it down for you. Sorry, this lighting is horrible. Con number 1, not being up on the internet drama or memes. So sometimes when I'll be talking with my friends, they'll like reference something and I'll feel like a grandma because I have no idea what they're talking about. Willow. I'm a Taurus. I live for them deep convos. I want the juicy combos with my friends. Like, that's how I connect with my friends, not through memes. So this hasn't really been like an issue for me. Second, I have felt a little bit like my friend circle has gotten smaller because I interact with less people on a daily basis. But to me, that kind of just shows me like who's my true friend and who's not, because like who's gonna put in the effort to actually reach out to me and call me and like want to meet up with me and not just like send me Instagram posts. If I'm your friend, like I want quality time with you. If I want to know what they're doing, I'll ask them. And if they want to know what I'm doing, they will call and text me. Like, it's not really that big of a deal. Next con is boredom, but hear me out. Our parents, our grandparents, they didn't have so much distraction. They had like other hobbies that they were into. Social media is not a hobby unless you're like creating content. Maybe there's better things that you can like fill up your brain space with that won't damage you, that will actually like benefit your life in a lot of ways, like, you know, learning about things you're interested in. Last winter, as I was kind of like getting out of being on social media as much, I started making moss wall art. So much of the time we're consuming information that is meaningless and pointless, and our brains can only handle so much. I would just suggest like being more mindful when you're on the internet, whatever you're doing, because when we're on the internet, our minds go somewhere else. Like, try and be more present with what you're consuming and being like, oh, does this make me feel good? Does this make me feel bad? Does this give me anxiety? Almost everyone has a mental illness nowadays. Almost everyone struggles with their mental health nowadays. I wonder why. So many people are in these like loops of like constantly feeling like I need to be better, I'm not enough, I need to get to this certain place in my career, I need to get to this body weight. Mental illnesses have gotten so much worse because of social media, and everyone knows that, but I'm just reiterating it. Mental health affects everything. Mental health affects physical health, your relationships, your self-love, your career, your finances. Mental health affects your whole health of your being and your life satisfaction. So when your mental health is not good, good, the rest of your life is not good. So I've been doing everything that I can to work on it, including like therapy, reading, delving into like spirituality, meditation, yoga, exercising more often, spending time in silence by myself, not ruminating about thoughts. I've been doing yin yoga, which is like a way to unblock trauma and stress that gets stuck in your body, and that's what creates illnesses, aches and pains. Really good book recommendation, by the way, that kind of goes into what I was just talking about. The Body Keeps Score. This is a really heavy book, but it's incredibly important information. I actually posted this book on my Instagram story and people were like, Keara, like, take this book slow. I am reading it slowly. This explains what trauma is, how it affects you, especially childhood trauma. If you want to help your mental health, therapy isn't the only way to do it. Getting off social media is another really great way to do it, and it's free. And it's difficult because we're addicted. It's a chemical addiction in our brains. It's like being addicted to cigarettes. And we kind of like subconsciously became addicted. For some people, maybe they can cut cold turkey and they're fine. But I think for others, cutting it out very slowly like I did, for example, like, you know, being like, okay, I can live without Snapchat, I'm gonna delete Snapchat. I can live without Twitter, I'm gonna delete Twitter. If you think that that would be like easier for you, then do it that way. The one thing about social media that I love, that I never want to get rid of, is like my connection with you guys. That is why I do still have a YouTube channel and Instagram, because it fills me up so much to communicate with you guys, chat with you guys, share information, share love. Technically, I didn't quit social media, but I'm not using it in a harmful way anymore. So I kind of just wanted to illustrate how I've stopped using it in a harmful way and only am using it for like a beneficial way, only in the way that I want to use it for. Somehow it went from, you know, us being really excited about all these new platforms like Instagram, TikTok. Slowly over time, we stopped enjoying ourselves on the apps and started like hating going on there. But then we found ourselves actually addicted. The goal is to use social media, but not have social media use you. Do you know what I'm saying by that? Let's create a simple analogy because I love analogies. So, for example, take an alcoholic. A lot of people who are addicted to alcohol can't even have one sip of alcohol, or else they go completely back into their addiction, right? What I'm trying to get at is that I found a way to use social media in a way that benefits me and not let my brain be hacked by this technology and the algorithms, so I can have Instagram to post my own content. But some people simply can't do that. It's too difficult. It's too tempting. The addiction is way too close for comfort. It's just the way certain people's brains are wired, and everyone's different. And I'm not gonna lie to you, sometimes I'll go on Instagram to post my own content and then somehow find my way on the explore page. But I've trained my brain to snap into present moment awareness and be like, oh, what am I doing? Oh, right. And then I'll exit out of the app. It's just a matter of training your brain. And how I've trained my brain to do this is actually, I think, practicing mindfulness, present moment awareness, meditation. And I know you're gonna be like, Keara, what the fuck, meditation? I'm not kidding you. I'm not an expert by any means at meditation, and some days are better than others, but I've been practicing it for quite a few years. My mom's introduced meditation into my life when I was a kid. Honestly, I truly do believe that you have the power to do this, but it takes a lot of effort, a lot of work. Whatever works best for you. You know what I mean? I just want you to know that you have control over the situation and you can do with this information what you will. Another thing to keep in mind if you do quit social media is like, you are gonna have a lot of free time. One thing that our brains like to do in free time is to get anxiety. Going on social media is a way of like, basically a way of dissociating from the present moment. That's why it can be so addictive, because you can run away from your problems because you're not addressing anything. But when you don't address anything, it gets worse. With your free time, I recommend like picking up some new hobbies, using that time wisely. For example, like I said, I started reading a lot of books, especially about psychology and mental health, child psychology. I started listening to more podcasts that interested me. I started exercising more. That's my story. I don't know what else to say other than take care of yourselves. Help yourself heal. Help yourself get better. I want to help you heal and get better. And this is my way of helping you. Do what you will with this information. And I really wish you all the best. I hope you have a wonderful new year. I hope you have one of the best, most successful, most fulfilling, most joyous years that you've had so far. Okay. I love you so much, you guys. Mwah! Oh, here's a hug. I feel like this video needs a hug. Bye, guys.